Hi, my darlings. I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Sophie. I have a doctorate in literature, which means I get way too emotionally invested in the shows that I'm watching. So if you're looking for a reactor that likes to talk about themes, symbolism, and character development, then you're definitely in the right place. So why don't you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video? Today, we're reacting to episode 8 of Monster. We now have discovered that there are two detectives, or potentially more, or an entire police force that are either working directly with Johan or indirectly with Johan, that they were involved in the deaths of the Fortners and Mora, the reporter, whose name I keep butchering. I just don't know how to say it properly, but Anna admitted to having killed or tried to kill Johan and was frustrated at the fact that Tenma had brought him back, but then came to the understanding that Tenma's a doctor and was doing his job, and that his job is to save other people. And it's going to be really interesting to see whether Tenma will ever try to kill Johan, if maybe he sees that as him saving other people, that he finally puts a stop to it all. But again, I think he's going to come to this realization that he is a doctor and it's not up to him to decide who lives and who dies, to play judge, jury, and executioner, that even if he had known the information that he knew then, he would have saved his life nonetheless, because it's not his decision to decide that some lives are worth more than others. I don't know. I don't know which way it'll go, but so far, Tenma strikes me as someone that really believes that all lives are equal to the core of his being, but he's definitely going to wrestle with it before finally coming to that understanding. It shakes his philosophy, but I think his philosophy will be reignited towards the end. That there may be a moment where he comes to the point of possibly killing Johan, that like he maybe has a gun to his head and he could do it, he could pull the trigger, but then realizes that if he does that, he's just as bad. He becomes Johan, someone that is willing to take the life of another. And that's not who he is. And I think that will be when he decides to not kill him, and that there is maybe another way of having him sentenced and a more just punishment can be found elsewhere. I'm not sure though, because we're only 8 episodes in and there's a lot to Monsters, so there's going to be so many twists and turns, and I'm already on the edge of my seat, especially because we know that detectives are involved in it now, which is just crazy. It's crazy to me. And I think Tenma's going to be made to be a scapegoat for it all, which isn't fair, but very much would be a crafty way of deflecting the police from investigating you. But Anna's journey is also going to be really interesting, if we're going to see more of her and her attempt to track her brother down, and maybe a confrontation between the two. We shall have to see. So without further ado, let's jump into episode 8.
この脳動脈奇形には何本も血管が入ってる。流入動脈はすべて切離。流出静脈を処理。
Has he gone back to work? He's returned to the hospital. Oh wait, no, this was from episode 1. The exact same dialogue.
終わった。お？いや、なんでもない。
His skills are better after the sabbatical. Okay, so it's just similar dialogue to what we saw in episode 1. So it's just a roundabout moment of looking at Tenma's skill and being reminded of it. Oh, bless. I don't like her, but also I do feel sorry for her because she's lost everything that matters to her.
頑張って健三。父についていけば絶対に大丈夫。
Maybe she will
父が病
be
院の理事長になる
redeemed.
のは時間の問題だし、そしたらあなたもすぐに外科部長。ゆくゆくは院長。そして私は院長夫人。幸せにしてよ。私に苦労は似合わないから。
Is this how she spends her time now?
うるさいわね。
Oh, of course it's you. He found a tie.
誰あなた。
Is it to do with the tie?
9年前のお父様の事件の際にはお世話になりました。
あの 事件もろくに解決できないヘボ刑事ね。今さら私に何の用なの？
お父様の死後もこの大邸宅をこうして維持されているとは大したものですね。
ご覧の通りよ。何不自由ないわ。
Clearly
何かお
not,
気
if
に
you're
入りのもの
spending
があ
all
っ
your
たらお
time
持ち帰りに
drinking.
なって。
Might be outwardly
私はお
trying to
酒があ
pretend
れ
you're
ば
okay,
それ
but
で十
inwardly you're
分。
not.
このネクタイなん
The
ですよね。
tie. Bingo.
ネクタイ。
見覚えありませんか？シンプルな柄ですが、よく見ると折り柄が非常に凝っていて、なかなかいい品ですよ。しかし運よくこの商品はその店の上得意の客に向けた限定生産品でしてね。その店の顧客リストにあなたの名前を見つけ
It
たんで
was a
す。
gift from her to Tenma.
ほらなんだっていうのよ。
あなたこれを買われて誰かにプレゼントなさい
Yeah,
ません
she
でしたか？
did.
さあね。男にプレゼントなんて山ほどしたからいちいち覚えてらんないわ。
She knows exactly who she gifted that to, but she's not going to give him anything.
よく思い出してください。
Because I think Tenma was the only one that
知らないって言ってるでしょ。
wasn't chasing
どい
after
つ
her
もこいつも
money.
金目当て。私を心から愛する人間なんかいやしない。
Bar Tenma. Tenma did.
に慰謝料山ほど踏んだくってやったのよ。3回ともね。ざまあみろだわ。
Oh my god, 3 marriages, 3 divorces.
また伺います。何か思い出したら
Oh, she
ご連
knows
絡ください。
exactly. She knows
今
exactly
度来
who
る
that
時は
tie
お酒
belongs
の一
to.
本も持ってらっしゃい。
He knows she knows, but he can't do anything if she won't give him the information. He needs it to be confirmed. And she's not going to give him anything. I wonder if she'll go and see Tenma and maybe warn him if this is like her way back into his life.
それは婚約指輪じゃないか。
あなたって本当にバカね。
She definitely regrets treating him that way. She feels guilty,
ドクターノルデ、素敵なスーツね。
especially because she kept the picture of them together. I wonder if he kept the ring. He was the only one that probably truly loved her other than her
ホル
father.
ス、車を用意して。
She's gonna go see Tenma.
あんたがずっとついていてくれたら娘どころか孫の結婚式まで拝めそうだ。
Aww.
あんた本当に名医だ。ずっとこの病院にいてくださいよ。
ドクターテンマ、お客様です。
今から回診をするんだ。
Eva.
忙しいから断ってくれないか。
でも、
How long has it been since they've seen each other?
久しぶりね。ケンゾー、
ああ、
私たちいろいろあったわね。お父様を返して。お父様。お願い。私が悪かったわ。ケンゾー。
I love how they've subtly aged them. Like they look older but still recognizable.
長期休暇を取ってたそうね。そうよ。たまにはこうやって体を休めなくちゃ。あなた仕事の虫だもの。春ね。覚えてる？ 10年前の春、2人でよくドライブに行ったじゃない。若かったわね。この時期にあなた川で泳ごうとしたのよ。私慌てて止めて。そしたらあなたったら。
悪いんだけど。
え？
エヴァ、時間がないんだ。
ケンゾー。やり直したいの。3回の結婚の失敗で初めて分かったの。私のこと本当に愛してくれたのはケンゾー、あなただけだったわ。
I think he still loves her deep down, but I think he doesn't want to drag her into this mess. I think he's not over her as much as she's not over him.
君の気持ちは嬉しいけど、受けられないんだ。
He doesn't say that he doesn't feel the same way. He said, I can't accept it.
警察があなたのネクタイのこと聞いてきたけど、
It was his necktie.
私の言う通りにすれば黙っていてあげるわ。
Because the necktie is of interest. So the necktie was found to restrain the guy at the castle, but it also was haunting the investigation for like 8 to 9 years. 8 years? 9 years? So I wonder if it was used to strangle. No, because her dad died from the poison candy. I can't remember why it's of interest from 8 years ago, though, other than it ties
ネクタイ
Tenma
の
to
こと警
both
察に
crimes.
話すわよ。9年前お父様たちを殺したのも全部あなたの仕業だって。
Okay, that's just spiteful. She's wanting a reaction out of him.
重要参考人としてドクター天馬を引っ張れ。
しかしこれではフォルトナー夫妻とマウラー殺しの証拠には不十分では。
私が今言ってるのはハイデルベルク城での殺しの件だけだ。
Where his necktie was, so it places him at the scene of the crime.
これで一気にたくさんの事件が
Ah,
解決するかもしれません。
勝手なことを言って申し訳ありません、委員長。
君には最近いろいろ妙な噂があるようだが、あんなものを私は全然信じていない。
Is he gonna have to go on the run now,
もう一度考え
essentially?
直して。君。
He's just like, nope, resign,
ドクタ
goodbye.
ー天馬。
He's gonna be called as a witness, but he's already left. That's just gonna look even more dodgy.
ドクター天馬が殺人容疑。
Fuck's sake. Now he's wanted as a murder suspect, and if they don't get him here, then he's gonna have to go on the run.
各病棟の入り口を塞げ。裏口も忘れるな。はい。
He's gonna have already gone.
そっちはどうした？さっさと探せ。
Oh! They're like, absolutely fucking not.
どきなさい。公務執行妨害だぞ。
We're not letting you get to
ドクター天馬
Tenma.
が人殺しなんかするわけがない。そうだ。
私たちの命を助けてくれた恩人よ。
ドクター天馬は
Oh, I
無実
love
だ。
this.
帰れ。
I love that they're like, nah, you're not getting to him.
なんだかえらい騒ぎですね。パトカーが山ほど来てますよ、ドクター天馬。
そうか。何があったんだろう。とにかく駅の前で降ろしてくれ。
Oh, he's now on the
相変わらずお
run.
忙しいですね、ドクター天馬。
He can't keep this up forever, though. And it seems to be wherever he goes, there's evidence that he was at the scene of a crime. So it's just gonna build more and more against him.
僕は向こうでオペが待ってます。
待て、ドクター天馬。ドクター天馬。
Oh, shit.
大丈夫だ。頑張れ。僕が助けてやる。
お久しぶりですね、先生。僕ですよ。もう忘れちゃったかな。あの時の双子のことな。
No, he could never forget about you, especially not now. Oh, wait, no. I've been an idiot. Something's clicked in my brain. Anna used the tie to restrain the guy at the scene of the crime when he was attacking them with the blade. Anna disarmed him and used the tie to restrain him.
先生が僕を生き返ら
That's
せ
how
てくれた
Johan
んだ。
got the tie. I was being stupid. I don't know where my brain was going, but I forgot that information. It happens. Oh boy, he's on the run. Oh wow, okay. 5 months.
あんた夏だってのにそんなに着込んで暑くねえのかよ。あ、なんだいそりゃ。3日前の新聞じゃねえか。今度はフェルデンで中年夫妻がやられたってな。犯人は医者だって話じゃねえか。
For
そう
fuck's
いえ
sake,
ばあ
they're
んたもフェル
pegging
デンに
him
行くって言って
as
たな。知り合いでもいるのかい？
the serial killer.
ああ。会えるかどうかわからないが、行かなくちゃならないんだ。
Oh shit. He's like, I'm ready though. Ooh. I can be so silly sometimes. I was like, how did Johan get the tie? Did Johan use the tie to kill her father? And then I was like, no, wait, hold up. It was the candies that killed Ava's father. And then I remembered, oh, Anna disarmed the guy at Heidelberg Castle and they used the tie to bind his hands. I completely forgot. That's how Johan got it. And then Johan has chucked it somewhere and then the tie has been found near the scene of the crime and that's pinning it to Tenma. Sometimes I forget little bits of information. It happens. I do apologize. I got myself turned around, but I corrected it in the end. It's just there's a lot going on. I'm trying to remember all like the key plots and thread lines, and yeah, mistakes happen. Everything's now being pinned on him. And I love that it's kind of building to him potentially going to kill Johan because he's going to where his latest victims are reported and he has a gun. So he's not taking any chances. But I still don't think he would do it. I don't. I think as much as he believes that Johan needs to be stopped, I still think the aspect of him being a doctor and the importance of saving people's lives and not taking their lives unnecessarily will continue to prevail. And I know people are going to refer to him saying that the director deserves to die because of everything he's done to him. I don't think Tenma meant it. I think Tenma was speaking in anger. Sometimes we say things that we don't mean. And Johan took it literally, took it seriously, and wanted to repay Tenma for saving his life. But Johan was already killing people before he killed the two doctors and the director, so it wasn't unusual for him to go that route. But I don't think Tenma meant it. It was just anger, frustration. And was it right for him to say they deserve to die? No. But we all say things that we don't mean. And unfortunately for Tenma, it's just words that he regrets because of what Johan has gone on to do whilst taking his words as serious. Then we have Ava, who I thought was maybe going to be redeemed and instead decided to be spiteful because Tenma rejected her again. Has proceeded to now tell the police that the tie was what she gave to him, so now he's wanted as a murder suspect, and now he's on the run. It's making it 10 times worse. And you know what also makes it 10 times worse? That he's probably cited in every location that there's a murder victim because he's tracking Johan. But the police don't know that. The police think he's the murderer, that he's involved in it. And him being in every town that it takes place is only giving them more and more evidence against him. Poor Tenma. I don't know how long he can stay on the run for, because at some point it's going to catch up with him. And I kind of worry that there's not going to be a happy ending here, that he ends up having to take the fall for Johan, that somehow this all falls on Tenma's shoulders and he sees it as carrying the burden of his mistake in allowing Johan to live, or at least he sees it as atoning, that in taking the blame, even though he knows he's not actually the killer, he is, in his mind, apologizing to the victims because in saving Johan's life, he indirectly allowed Johan to go on and kill them. That he's going to see it as his way of making amends, even though he knows he's not the killer. He's gonna bear the punishment because he feels like he deserves it. I hope they don't go that direction, because Tenma doesn't deserve to suffer after everything he's already gone through. So I'm hoping they don't do this whole, like, Tenma is going to allow himself to be charged for the crimes because he feels that he needs to atone, because he has nothing to atone for. But he obviously blames himself, you know, he's having flashbacks about saving Johan, that if he had not done it, then perhaps everything could have worked out differently. But still, it's not his fault. It isn't. I think that's going to be the deepest philosophical question, is if Tenma is to blame in saving Johan. But he's not, because he didn't know. He didn't know that Johan was a serial killer. He didn't know that Johan was going to continue killing. It's not as if he had this information. I think the real question would be is, if you knew as a doctor that your patient was going to kill people if you saved their lives, would you save their lives? I don't know. I personally, it's a question I have been wrestling with, because I don't know if I could bear the responsibility of killing someone, but at the same time, could I bear the responsibility of knowing that in sparing this one life, I am indirectly responsible for numerous lives dying? Tenma isn't indirectly responsible because he didn't know. So this is the difference. He would be indirectly responsible if he knew that Johan was going to go on and kill others. But because he doesn't know that, he's not indirectly responsible. He couldn't have predicted this outcome. He couldn't have known. Of course, he feels guilt. I think anyone would in that situation. But I'm talking in the scenario of, we know that the person we're saving is going to become a serial killer. do we still make the decision to save their lives knowing that they're going to kill numerous other people, or do we cut that life short in order to spare others? I feel like personally I would probably cut that one life short to spare innocent people from dying. But then I think the other side of that question is, who am I to decide who's innocent and who's guilty? Who am I to decide who lives and who dies? I think this is one of those shows that everyone's going to definitely have a different perspective. I think if I knew, I couldn't live with knowing that this life in my hands is going to kill people and that more people are going to be harmed in the long run. So personally, I think potentially, I don't know, I would let them die. I wouldn't save them, but that's granted that I definitely know this is going to be the outcome. I would be interested to know what other people think. Don't judge me, okay? But it is very much the trolley situation of, do you sacrifice one life to save multiple lives, or do you sacrifice multiple lives to save one life? It's that scenario, and it's always one that people struggle with because it's not an easy question. It's one we're going to wrestle with. But I think, like Tenma, it's a question I'm going to wrestle with throughout the entirety of the show, especially when we get more context as to Johan and why Johan is the way that he is and why he kills. Because again, we still don't have that information, and we need to have that information in order to understand the decisions that we make. So it's definitely a difficult one, because we need the context, but we don't have the context as of yet. And I do think Tenma still loves Ava, because he says, I can't. Not that he doesn't have the same feelings for her. He can't, because in having a relationship with Ava, he indirectly drags her into this entire situation with Johan. And who's to say that Johan wouldn't target Ava to get to Tenma? I think it's Tenma's way of protecting her, but she sees it as a rejection, and she lashes out by trying to punish him because she's hurt. Because she's going on about this luxurious life and how well she's doing. But if she was really doing that well, she wouldn't be drinking all the time. She's deeply unhappy. She is destroyed by what she did to Tenma in the past, and also the loss of her father, and this realization that the only man that ever loved her, aka Tenma, she rejected, and she's never been able to find someone like that since, and she's haunted by it. So I feel for her. She's a deeply complicated and troubled young woman, but at the same time, I am frustrated that she thought the way of manipulating Tenma and getting to him is by threatening to tell the police and then telling the police. Oh, it's kind of fucked up, but she's also drinking a lot, so she's not in her right faculties, and I wonder if this is also something that she comes to regret, because she realizes, oh shit, I fucked up. Like, she sobered up a little bit, but I don't know. I'm on edge though. I honestly can't wait to see all the plot twists, because this is only 8 episodes and there's so many more episodes to go. So this definitely is going to get more wild and more confusing, I think. Either way, I'm going to have to try and not get tripped up over silly little bits of information. I can be so clever sometimes, and then I can have little moments of memory lapse and then forget what the tie's importance was. I knew that it was linked to the murder scene, but I don't know why I started forgetting that it was used to restrain the guy. I don't know. My brain just kind of lapsed on me a little bit. Again, it happens. But it's okay. I'm only human. Sometimes we have little silly brain blips and we say stupid things, and that's okay. I'm not going to be too harsh on myself. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. And until next episode, bye.